Hello and welcome. This reading today is for Gemini for January 2023. I have pre-shuffled the cards, but I will shuffle them again for you. I'm an intuitive reader and I read in real time. I use a 10-card spread. I'll explain that in just a moment. 5 cards along the top row, 5 cards along the bottom row. I talk about those cards as they come out. When I'm finished doing that, I overlay those cards with a second deck of cards. We talk about those cards as well, individually, and then towards the end of the reading, I pull the whole reading together for you. If I need any clarification on any small aspects on the double layer of cards, then I do have a third deck to give us some clarification or to provide some additional information. I hope you're well, Gemini. Okay, I think we're about ready to start the reading. I might just do one little more shuffle. There we go. On the top row we have the King of Wands in the upright position, 5 of Wands, 9 of Swords, 8 of Cups, 6 of Pentacles in reverse, Knight of Swords on the bottom row, 7 of Wands in the reverse position, 4 of Swords upright, the Hanged Man, the 6 of Wands, and I'll show you the bottom of the deck. I'll have a look. Okay, Knight of Cups in reverse. Okay, we'll talk about these cards. King of Wands is very creative, fertile. He knows how to create what he wants. He knows what he wants. He can be quite intuitive as well, but a highly creative person. Now, before I go any further, when I say he, she, or they, when I'm talking about the cards are gender neutral. And what I'm talking about here, particularly say with the King of Wands, the King of Wands is somebody who would take action. Now, the masculine figures on the cards in the tarot tend to be active, and the female persona shown on the cards tend to be more passive, and they deal with more of the emotional and subtle energies. So the male cards are more active. Okay, we have got the 5 of Wands. So this is small battles, squabbles, arguments, standing your ground, fighting for what you want. 9 of Swords is all about the sort of things that keep you awake at night. Anxieties, worries, stress, over-analysing things, being critical of yourself, all of those things. Here we've got the 8 of Cups. So 8 of Cups usually talks about you've had enough, you have decided to kind of pack your bags and move on. I'm not staying here anymore. None of this is making me happy. I feel like moving on. Okay? And what you need to ask yourself whenever this card comes up, if you do feel like moving on, is, because it's in the night, you need to analyse your feelings a little bit carefully, because what are you leaving behind? Are they things that you're able to clean up, or does somebody have to clean it up for you? Or are you going to have to come back and revisit that and then deal with it again? So that is quite a difficult card sometimes, because walking away can leave all of those cups standing there. That's fine if you've actually dealt with that, but if you need to have to come back again, it's sometimes even more difficult to come back the second time. Here we've got the 6 of Pentacles in reverse. Again, this is about having sufficient money to share, enough money to pay your bills so that you can budget, buy the things you need for your family, and keep yourself stable and manage to pay your taxes and your things like your insurances and all of those things, your medical bills. But it's in the reverse position, so I'm assuming that you are not entirely happy about where you find yourself financially. This can also be values, your individual values, the things you hold dear and the things you think are important in your life. But in this instance, I'm actually feeling that it's more monetary. So monetary finances, those kind of things, Perhaps you are not able to balance not able to balance your budget or your affairs as well as you'd like to. On the bottom row, we've got the Knight of Swords, rushing in at full speed. Now this can be very fast incoming messages. It can be a legal settlement. It can also be a little bit of advice to perhaps don't rush your judgments or your decisions. Don't be too hasty in the things you decide to do. It's not in the reverse position, so it shouldn't really be a warning, but in which case it is something coming in very fast for you. We have the Seven of Swords in reverse, a little bit like the card above it, which was the not swords, I do beg your pardon, it's wands. Above it you had the Five of Wands. So this one's standing your ground in defending yourself. This one is the squabbles that go with it. So it looks like at the beginning of January you've got a little bit of an area where you're feeling the need to defend yourself. Maybe you're not very successful at it because this one's in reverse. Now these little skirmishes can be with family or friends or just between you and your partner, you and your relatives, since it's around the Christmas period and the beginning of January. It could be with relatives. So needing to defend yourself, standing your ground. If something's important to you, do stand your ground. We've done the top row with your anxieties, and below that we have the Four of Swords. So this is taking a rest. To stop it's telling you to stop worrying, to stop overthinking, to stop being critical. Maybe you're being critical of yourself. Maybe you're judging yourself too harshly. It's suggesting you take a little rest, a little break. Okay? Maybe you've been analysing yourself a little bit harshly. Maybe you need to be a little bit more generous with yourself. But we'll have a look. Okay, we've got the Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man is about, again, this is a pause. This is taking time to have a rest. But the rest is not meant to be just a rest. It's meant to be a time for you to reflect inside yourself, to consider what your real values are, what's important to you, what makes me happy. It's kind of a sacrifice. So you are sacrificing the time for a reason. It's like sacrificing something and saying, well, I'm going to look after myself. I'm going to a retreat for 2 days. I'm just going to look after myself. I need to sacrifice the time with my family. I need to look after myself. Here you've got the Six of Wands. This is the last card on the bottom row. Six of Wands is usually about a victory. Again, you've got two sixes, one above the other. And normally a six is quite a reasonable card, quite a happy card, but they're both in reverse. So I have a feeling that there's some level of discontent in your situation towards the end of January. The discontent perhaps in the things you're able to do, or the things that maybe you don't have sufficient finances to do the things you'd like to do, and you're feeling a little bit of discontent there. Now over here we've got the Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups is generally, love coming towards you, but it's in reverse. Now, that could also mean, having love for yourself. But we'll have a look. I'll clarify these cards now because they are matching up rather well, because you've got the Five of Wands and the Seven of Wands, and you've got the swords here, the anxiety and the exhaustion here. Pardon me, I'm having a bit of a croaky voice today. There's a thunderstorm coming and I think I'm having a reaction. Excuse me if I take a drink. Again, this is sort of the moon, and even this halo around the Hanged Man's head could be a little bit of, this lunar energy, which is self-analysis, critiquing, making sure things are not hidden. Perhaps you don't know everything, or you feel you don't know everything. Maybe you feel like somebody is hiding something, or somebody has been withholding something from you. It's very interesting that the cards are pairing up very well, and even here the sixes. So we'll clarify these cards now. Okay, first card out, we've got the Two of Pentacles. That's in reverse, so it's above the King of Wands. I'm getting the feeling from this immediately that you wish you had more choices. I wish you had more choices available to you. Have a look at the Five of Wands, please. See, normally that would be juggling, but this time I'm getting the feeling that you wish you had more choices. Okay, Four of Pentacles. So perhaps these little struggles here have been about your financial security, your home. Maybe just your home. I mean, this is always the card about home and your values and your security. Money matters relating to the home. So maybe you've had some struggles relating to money matters relating to your home. Let's have a look at the Nine of Swords, please. Nine of Swords. Okay, again you've got the Four of Cups, which is a little bit of despondency, a little bit of feeling down, a little bit of disillusionment. You're sort of feeling like you're not quite getting what you were hoping for. But you know, this person, they've both got their heads down. You might note that both of these people have got their heads down. And normally they would, you know, the advice would be in this situation is to pick your head up, because you might be missing something that's coming towards you. If you're not looking, and if you're feeling a bit sad, perhaps you're kind of shutting down on yourself, and then you're not ready to engage with people as well as you normally would do. And in which case you might not have the conversations you normally would do with people, and you may miss an opportunity. And it's kind of like withdrawing from, even if you're withdrawing from your friends or your family, or even withdrawing from your social media, for example. If you've kind of gone, I've had enough, I'm not engaging, you may be missing an opportunity. If you're not strong enough and you feel like you need a rest, well then the cards are recommending that you do take a rest. So all of these things can be related to how you feel about engaging in the world. Let's have a look at this Eight of Cups under the moon. It's an action card. It looks static, but it is an action card because he's wearing red and he has red shoes. So that is an indication that even though it looks dark around him, he's still prepared to take action, even if things are dark. So if things are feeling dark around you, it looks like you are still capable of taking action. It's when you start to get depressed and anxious to the point where you can't take action that you do have concerns. So anyway, weigh up this situation with these cups, because you may have some disappointment behind you, but if you need to go back and address this stuff later on, it can be twice as hard. Oh, two have come out, okay. We'll have a look at both of them. So you've got the Eight of Pentacles, hard work. You've been working hard. I'll show you the cards actually. So this one's in reverse. Eight of Pentacles, having worked hard. But the Eight of Pentacles is working hard with satisfaction. So, you know, working hard in this instance is not making you feel unhappy. It's a sense of satisfaction that goes with it. So you've got two eights there. So that's talking about work and balance. So, you know, maybe you feel that there's not enough balance in your life. That's the other situation, because you've got two eights on top of one another. Perhaps you're feeling that the balance is a little bit off. Maybe you've been working a little bit too hard. Maybe a little bit too hard on your projects. Here we've got the Six of Cups. This is family time, emotional family time. It can also be a little bit of nostalgia, you know, sort of reminiscing when you were a child, or reminiscing with your old school friends or people that you knew before, maybe that you were more carefree, perhaps reminiscing and dreaming of the times when you were a little bit more carefree. That's kind of nice too. Everybody likes to be a little bit carefree. And if you're in the middle of a family situation and you're busy going to work, it can be very hard sometimes, working hard. You feel like you've got no time for yourself, and sometimes you feel like you've got not enough joy from all the things you'd like to have, like your family here, or gardening, or going places. Again, you've got this number 6 card, so you've got the 3 sixes here. Okay, let's clarify the 6 of Pentacles. Oh, far too many, far too many. I'm not taking that many. We'd be here all day. And in this case, because there are multiple people on the cards, it's talking more about your family. So how you're feeling in your family situation. This one has other people, but he's elevated above. So this can be a personal victory for you, perhaps, but it's in reverse. So let's talk about this 6 of Pentacles first. Okay, Justice. So justice could actually be justice as in the law, but the person of justice is also very concerned about weighing up the situation. And it's interesting that both of them have got a set of scales. So weighing up the things that are important to you. How much work am I prepared to give? How much time am I getting off to enjoy my family? How much time am I getting off to do the things that only I need to do by myself? Is everything fair in the family? Am I carrying too big a part of the workload? So justice in this case, I think, is about you weighing up the situation. And maybe you feel that you're carrying too much of the load. That could be the case too. Oh, excuse me, I do have this croaky voice and the little cough going on in the background. It just doesn't want to go away. Let's clarify the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords. I tell you, that is a very fast energy. Okay, oh my goodness. If it wasn't fast enough before. Now I'll turn him up there. He was in the upright position. Your Knight of Swords is in reverse. These are probably 2 of the fastest cards on the deck. So something at the beginning of January looks like it's changing. There's something very fast coming in or going out. I'm not entirely sure, because usually this can mean that you're leaving something behind or making a decision to leave something behind. The one thing I will say is don't be too flighty. He's wearing the red feathers in his cap. So maybe a decision you make at the beginning of January to leave something behind, you might have to give up one of your dreams. You know, maybe you have to give up one of your creative projects. There's something that looks like you need to leave behind at the beginning of January, a decision you need to make. And in this case, this can then indicate a decision. With the Knight of Swords below it and the Chariot, because the Chariot can go either way. I am feeling that you have a decision to make at the beginning of January, but it will come to you very quickly. And I think you're leaving something behind at the beginning of January. So you may have started a project and you're just finding it's taking too much of your time. And you just have to say to yourself, I can't manage all of the things I have in front of me. I'll just have to let that project go until I've got a little bit more time or a little bit more energy, till I'm feeling stronger, till I'm a year older, all of those things. Okay, let's have a look at the 7 of Wands. Oh, it's exactly until I have more strength. Okay, so some of the projects that you've got going, so this can equally be projects that you've got going. Too many sticks in the fire, so to speak. Too many projects going all at once, and you're getting conflicted or confused about the work you've got to do, or there's just too many things to do, and you simply don't have the strength or stability. That's the other thing I'm thinking here. Maybe you need to gather some more money. Maybe you need to gather your strength before you keep going with these projects. because it does look like either you've got a lot of projects or a lot of confusion around you because you've got too many things on the go. It can also be confusion. It's like when you've got too many complicated things on the table at once. You really just need to tackle one at a time. Even though sometimes they all need to be sorted out at once, you sometimes just haven't got the strength or the mental capacity to deal with it all at once. Okay, let's have a look at the Four of Swords. Four of Swords for Gemini, please. And I will point out to you too, once you regather your strength, you can see the lemniscate symbol above here, which means anything is possible once you gather your strength, but also know how to pace yourself, because you can muster all the strength, but if you burn it all out in one day, then sometimes you have to spend the next 4 days doing nothing. So this can be gathering strength, but then learning how to pace yourself. Okay. Let's have a look at the Four of Swords. Okay, got the Wheel of Fortune, which is a lovely card, just what you need. Wheel of Fortune is telling you that there are going to be changes. It's interesting, this is a 4 and this is a 4, so you've got a whole series of 4s here. 4s are about stability. 8s are sort of like double stability, but you've got 3 4s here, so maybe you need to stabilise yourself a little bit here towards the middle. I'd say this is either towards the middle of January, because this spread is for January, but a sense of you needing to find some sort of stability. Then you get this Wheel of Fortune, which kicks everything along a little bit, so you'll get a little kickstart probably in the middle of January or somewhere around the middle of January. So past, present, future. Okay, near future. So recent past, present and near future. So you've got the 4s there. That's telling me there are some probably concerns for your stability. Then you get the Wheel of Fortune that changes everything. And then you've got the double 8s here, so that is sort of a weighing up, really. The 4s are like just a sort of a cube, so a stable cube, thinking about your stability. And 8 there is weighing up. It can talk about weighing up. Okay, let's have a look at the Hanged Man. Perhaps you've got so much on your plate you just need to take one day off and just kind of go, I'm sacrificing this day, I'm going to sit down and make a plan, because I need to work out how to allocate my energy, my time, my money. And that can be like the sacrifice here. So, sometimes you give up one day just to actually make some headway. And again, that he's got the number 4, he's making like a number 4. So weighing up his stability, you've got the 2 8s there again, weighing up the situation. So to me it looks like in January you'll be very busy looking at your stability and weighing up what to tackle next and how you can progress through the year perhaps. You could be weighing up all sorts of things. And as I said, I think it's money, family situation, your creative projects, the things you'd love to do, the things you have to do, things you need to do with your family and things you'd like to do with yourself. So there's a lot of weighing up to do. Once you've got a family, there is a lot of things you need to take into account. Now let's have a look at this Hanged Man. Okay, 5 of Wands. Again, you've got the same thing here. This is the same one here. Perhaps too many projects on the go, too many decisions, too many difficult decisions to make. I'm thinking perhaps, again, you may have too many sticks in the fire, so to speak, but there's some battles. Again, maybe these internal battles. And in which case, this is very important to you, then this card, because this is the Major Arcana card. So this one should override this 5 of Wands. It's recommending that you find some time to balance things out and to actually start to figure out how you can sort out all this confusion with so many projects. You've got some Major Arcana cards here, you've got Justice as well, and you've got Strength. So a lot of those are sort of trying to stabilise you. They're sort of weighty cards. Justice and Strength are cards that are heavy, bringing you down to the ground, grounding yourself and working out what it is you need to do. Okay, let's have a look at this victory card. That's a lovely card. I do like the victory card. Now, you just slipped out. You didn't come out on purpose. Okay. It looks like, I mean, the victory's there, so yeah, it's in reverse. So there may be a bit of a delay while you kind of, you find your equilibrium. And when you may be balancing the budget and all those sorts of things that you probably need to do. You're making a forward plan, perhaps. This is what this one would be, is making a forward plan. How am I going to get through? How am I going to balance things? Okay, let's have a look at this one. 6 of Wands. Okay, the Sun. Well, it looks, this is success, but it's a little bit delayed. So the Sun speaks of success and happy times, but it's in reverse, but even in reverse, the Sun is not a negative card. Maybe you're making small successes, maybe small steps. But this is a happy card. This has this circular energy of moving forward with a better flow. So I do think somewhere in January you find some time and you get some success, because it may not be a huge success, but if you can kind of get your life into a little bit of order, perhaps you feel that's a pretty good success. And it may not be something that the rest of the neighbours and your friends clap and cheer about, but I tell you, it can make a huge difference to how you feel inside yourself. So some sort of success here. We'll have a look at the bottom of the deck. I didn't do that again. I'm notorious for forgetting the bottom of the deck. Let's have a look at that. What have we got there? Show you first. What have we got? Oh, Queen of Cups. Okay. Well, you've got the Knight of Cups here and then the Queen of Cups. So I think at the end of January, you'll be in a happier place. I think you'll feel a little bit more fulfilled. You'll feel like you have, you will have found a little bit of time for yourself, a little bit of space to kind of fill up your own cup. And that's a rather nice thing to have. If you can progress, and that's a progression from the Knight to the Queen, so that means then that you maybe can find some emotional things that will make you feel happy and give yourself that. And you've obviously this little bit of success, and that's interesting. She's holding the golden cup and you've got the golden sun there. So perhaps you find a way of finding some time to fill yourself up emotionally, to give yourself a little bit of self-love and a bit of self-care, because that's what she demands. The Queen of Cups demands self-love, self-care. Okay? You can't love anybody if you aren't complete in yourself. So it does look like you're going to achieve some sort of success. It does look like January is going to be quite a busy time in sense of the things that you need to work out. But you've got the Wheel of Fortune, so you are obviously going to make some progress, because the Wheel of Fortune tells me that better times are ahead, and that you will be making some progress. It means that you're not static. This is a very static card. This one here shows that you're going to be making some progress. So that's very good, Gemini. I'd be very proud of myself if I achieved all of that in January, because it looks like you have rather a lot on your plate. So, some self-love and self-care, and you'll be smiling and looking good. She's beautiful. So there you go, a little bit of pampering perhaps for yourself. Maybe a day at the hairdresser. Maybe sitting somewhere where you can enjoy a cup of coffee or a glass of wine, look at a nice view, go for a walk in the park, maybe having, your fingernails done, something nice where you can feel that you're taking care of the person inside, the person who's running the ship, who needs to be taken care of. Thank you very much, Gemini, and I wish you well for January. Bye for now.